So I want to show you something on this chart right now, which Bitcoin commonly does when it's about to break out. It's something that's so typical, and it all boils down to the very same typical staircase pattern that you guys know I love to talk about. And what this is essentially where you end up making a little bit of a move to the upside, and then you do something where you kind of pause the trend, you trade sideways, or you trade lower slowly, bam, before potentially making your next leg up. That is the whole idea of this video, and it's so powerful, and it's actually very common that we form these kind of patterns in this state of the market, right? And the reason for that is, you know, when the market has come out of an area of low volatility, which was this area, right? I mean, when we were in this pennant, the market just wasn't moving very much. I mean, we even had this huge, disgusting kind of 10-day period where, I mean, there was this one exception right here, but for the most part, within 10 days, the price barely ranged between like a 2.5% range, right? So huge sign of an area of low volatility. As soon as you leave that area of low volatility and you enter an area of high volatility, which we probably did like either somewhere around here, maybe here, or maybe even at the breakout point. And I'm inclined to say that it's actually started around over here just because of the significance of breaking that resistance. You know, that's where generally the market actually moves really quickly for some period of time, you know, and that can either be a long period of time or a short period of time. And you can see this playing out in different ways, right? Like when the market over here, for example, ended up trending down and then just completely paused for a bit, right? Take a look at this right here. Market completely paused at the bottom. If we measure this from kind of, I mean, just looking at the majority of the price action, majority of the price action kind of took place within about a 6.5% range, spread out across about 9 days. And so that's an area of relatively low volatility. You know, after that, the market just starts trending up, and it doesn't really stop trending up for quite a while. You know, like there's actually some pretty good you know, kind of consolidations, things that happen around here, but they don't last a long time, right? This one lasts 3 days. This one doesn't really even stop the market. This one is barely noticeable. It's maybe a day or even less than that, right? So, you know, when we leave these areas of low volatility, we typically hit areas of high volatility, and that is a really important thing to understand before we get into the rest of this video right here, where I'm also going to be talking to you about where I think Bitcoin could be going and so on as well. So make sure you stick around for that and smash up the likes if you're finding this video useful so far, because right now we are in this area of higher volatility, and you know, generally you'd expect it to stay that way, right? So you know, if we look at some of the previous kind of corrections that we've had in this uptrend since we started trending higher, which I'm going to say started right here, you know, just for simplicity, you know, you can kind of separate this fairly easily. You know what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop a bunch of vertical lines just to separate the different phases in this market that I'm seeing, and this patch is very difficult, so I'm just going to ignore it. And really, like, all I want to focus your attention on is, you know, how long these kind of, and another one does belong here as well, you know, how long these kind of phases last, right? So if we take a look, and I need you to keep an open mind with me now, because I'm not doing very scientific analysis. I'm just trying to prove a point right here. You know, if we look at how this market was rising up, it took about 2.5 days to rise up, and then it was consolidating. It was actually correcting. It wasn't consolidating. It was moving downwards for about 2 days as well, right? So slightly longer time that it's trending up, and still a fairly long amount of time that it's trending down. It's actually, I probably didn't calculate that correctly. It's probably a little bit more than that. Yeah, so about, yeah, pushing 3 days of trending up and about, yeah, nearly 2 days of trending down, right? So still a fairly significant amount of time. Then again, we trend up very nicely. We have our correction right here, although like I said, this one's difficult. Let's just skip to this one right here. I think it's fair to say that this kind of leg is mainly just one leg right here, up by 10%. You know, it takes about 3.5 days, and then right here we're consolidating for about 2 days, right? So you know, that's a fairly easy way to show again that, you know, like generally our consolidation isn't taking a long time. You know, kind of 2 days seems to be the average for our consolidation. And if we look at what's happening here, and by the way, when I say consolidation, I also mean correction. It kind of means the same thing. You know, we're at the same point right here now. We're kind of knocking on the door of this correction lasting 2 days, depending on how you draw it. We've already kind of crossed that threshold. So I do believe that, you know, this market, just with time-based analysis, might be ready to move relatively soon. This is quite important because it shows us that recently a characteristic of this market has been to you know, trend up and then correct for 2 days, and then trend up and then correct for 2 days. And it looks like we're doing that right now, which is in line with what I've shown you already. When we leave areas of low volatility, typically we hit areas of high volatility. But on top of that, what strengthens this, because you guys know the deal, right? This is a YouTube channel that's built around putting out realistic technical analysis, right? If you guys appreciate that, again, just do me a favor and smash up the likes, make sure you're subscribed as well so you don't miss out on this content, because that's what this channel is all about. That's what I'm trying to put forward for you all every single day. That's why I try to show you with my trades as well. And like, obviously this stuff is not easy, right? You need to learn it. You need to really kind of understand it, at least at first. Once you've learned it, it's easy. You can put it on autopilot, but to actually learn the skills in the first place is quite a difficult process, and that's what I'm trying to put forward here within these videos with this, hopefully very fluid, relatively easy to follow analysis. And so the next layer that I want to add on top of this now is that, when you have, with time-based analysis, I'm kind of being told from what I've just, explained to you that I feel like the market is telling me, like, okay, maybe it's time to start rallying up right now. Maybe we're done correcting, because generally that's how it worked. So what does the price say? And this is a very nice indicator that actually combines time and price, but mainly price in my opinion, showing us where support might be, right? And this 1 hour Ichimoku cloud, again, for those of you who don't know what this is, just do me a favor, pause the video right here and type this into the YouTube search bar to watch my free video on how to get and use this indicator. I've just actually updated that video, made a brand new version, and put it inside the 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗦𝗧𝗍 Academy courses as well, which you guys are going to get when you join VIP for free most of the time, depending on which package you join with. So definitely take advantage of that if you want to be able to watch me trading in real time. I'm in a beautiful profit on Ethereum. It's an absolutely great time to be inside of VIP right now. Check it out with the first link in the description down below. But this Ichimoku video is what you'll need to understand this indicator. Again, this is providing us with a little bit of support right now. It's actually already helped the market twice, right? Take a look at this hit right here. We got a nice bounce off the cloud right here, and another one very recently, just a few hours ago. And actually, if we measure this, I mean, it's not crazy, right? It's a 2.5%, 2.2% move, 1.5% move here. This is nothing crazy at all. But it's nice to know that it's working, and it's not just the Ichimoku cloud, because what we've got here now is we're starting to build a picture of Confluence. This is so important, right? When you're making a decision as a trader, obviously these videos are all about analysis, but this ties into being a trader, because this is worth nothing if you're not trading. If you're not trading, this is just a fucking this is just a thought experiment. It's not really going to put any money in your pocket. The other side of this with trading is when you want to enter a trade, you need to have a lot of confidence that you're making the right decision, and one of the ways you can build that confidence is by building Confluence, by having an argument, by having a particular perception of the market, which you can back up with lots of unrelated things. Like with a health thing, right? Like if you're if you have heart problems and you're really fat, and okay, you have heart problems, that's the problem. What's contributing to that? Well, you're extremely overweight, you drink a lot of alcohol, or whatever, you're very sedentary with your lifestyle, you're not getting any cardio and stuff like that. Like, it's just a lot of contributing factors that make it extremely obvious that something is going to happen, like a heart problem. And it's the same thing with these markets, right? There's going to be a lot of other things kind of unrelated, ideally unrelated, because that's how you know that they're not kind of influencing each other, that kind of show you the same thing is about to happen. And that's where you can have a high level of conviction that you're making the right decision. So anyway, Ichimoku cloud right here. The next unrelated indicator, bam, is the EMA ribbon. Not on this time frame though, on the 4 hour time frame, which in my opinion is far more important. It's already helped the market fairly well, right? As soon as we got this bullish crossover right here, it allowed the market to bounce into this zone multiple times consistently and find support. And we've done the very same thing now just recently, today, depending on your time zone where you are in the world, and that alone is also extremely impressive, because that's showing us that the market is continuing to find support at these indicators, this 4 hour EMA, which I was talking to you guys about in one of the recent videos. I was saying, like, this is going to catch up, and this could actually offer some support to the market, which is absolutely phenomenal, because it's showing us that, again, we are actually on track for continuing to use these same areas of support, which is great, because it shows us that this uptrend might continue, right? It gives us a little bit of indication about what might happen there. Sorry for the notifications. And so, to me, that's another thing that I'm really keeping in mind now. We've got the time potentially showing us that this correction could be over. We've got the Ichimoku cloud showing us that there is support around this price level. We've got the EMA ribbon showing us that there is support around this level. Even if the market dips a little bit lower, this is what gets really exciting for me, is that we're only going to be back testing an area that was previously extremely strong resistance, right? If we look at it on this chart where I've already drawn this box, like, this chart doesn't need to drop by much. Bitcoin does not need to drop by much to reach this box, right? I know it might look like a bit of a significant drop, but you know, if we measure this really quick, like from where we are now, just to hit the top of this box, we need to drop by 5%, $2,500. Like it's not that much. Like it's gonna be fine if Bitcoin drops by about 5% in my opinion. But not only that, if we kind of stretch this up a little bit higher, because to me, like in my opinion, this range you could actually perhaps more accurately draw it. See if it's on this chart. Yeah, probably these. I don't know. Let's use the original chart I was sticking to. Actually, let's just use this. You know, I mean, the key kind of reversal level isn't like 44 or 45k. The key reversal level is more like 46, right? And so that's a lot closer. Like 46k is here. You know, so if I draw this kind of like that, this box now stretches between, and I'll just drop 2 lines here so you can read the numbers easily. You know, this box stretches between 46.1 and 45.1, you know, and this captures all of the hits. I mean, fuck it, you could probably draw it a little bit lower, but, you know, come on, I mean, you're getting the main story here. It's got all the support hits, it's got most of the resistance hits. This might be the reversal point for Bitcoin, right? It doesn't necessarily need to penetrate all the way down to 44, right? The support, in my opinion, does stretch all the way down to $44,000, but we don't need to drop down that low. You know, and so, you know, when you consider it that way and you look at our current price, like that's now only a 3% drop or a $1,300 drop. Like it's just a lot easier to swallow that kind of hit, you know, to accept that kind of hit. And to me, I mean, you know, like I said, and the fact that that lines up with other indicators, it's beautiful, right? Look at this 4-hour EMA ribbon, just bang on. I mean, it could not be more. This is where, you know, it's abundantly clear that technical analysis works, right? You get a lot of people that are just bad at it, and they've never properly learned how to do it. They haven't gone through the 𝗧𝗙𝗏𝗏 Academy. They haven't been inside a 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗏 VIP and whatnot. You don't even need that stuff. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you know, shameless plug, right? But, you know, they just haven't learned how to analyze the markets properly, so they turn around and say it doesn't work. You know, it's the same as the people who, you know, look at people in the gym and say every single person here must be juiced up on steroids, whereas they've just never fucking had an intense workout and eaten clean in the same day, you know. So it's like, well, of course you think it's not possible. You've never done it properly, you know. And that's, you know, this is where, you know, I feel almost like a social responsibility to disprove those points occasionally, because it's a harmful line of thought. I mean, TA is such a strong tool to use in the markets. It can give you so many advantages. It's ridiculous. You know, not least just the, you know, the profitable trade I'm in with Ethereum right now entirely came off technical analysis. Like it was entirely because of that. And if I hadn't been able to use that tool properly, I would be in a little bit of trouble. So, you know, I think that's really, really important. Again, if you want to jump inside a VIP, it's the first link in the description down below, and the steps to join are right around that link as well. So just go ahead and pause the video now, take a look at it, and come right back. Shout out to those of you who have jumped in over these last few days, seeing these gains. Obviously, the best time to join is always before I'm posting the information on those trades. But the good news is, like I said, you know, there are trades that I'm looking at ripping in this market relatively soon. And as soon as I do that, the new information will go inside of VIP as well. So there's a lot going on there. I haven't even mentioned most of the benefits. You can just reach out to understand what they are. But yeah, the next thing that I want to talk about is where this thing could be headed. And that's all going to be down to the next areas of resistance. You know, it's a little bit of a messy range, especially if we kind of look at it on, like, you know, this time frame right here. I mean, one day makes it a little bit better, but, you know, all I'm looking for is where are significant reversals in this market taking place? Where is the market generally kind of pulling back from, and so on, or finding support? And, you know, one of the price levels that do jump out to me is, of course, the 51k area that I've been talking about a little bit. Maybe 48. No, this is not 48. This is 49.5. It's not very clear. You could say 48, but we've already been rejected from there. And then 53 being the main one. You know, I mean, and then there's diminishing resistance the higher you go up, really. I mean, it's just not such a big deal in my opinion. Maybe another one right there. You know, these are the kind of like pitch stops that, you know, you might be able to expect Bitcoin to pause at a little bit. Maybe it, you know, kind of hits a range like this and it trades sideways for a while, and then it keeps, you know, or maybe it kind of, you know, drops down a lot, and again, and and then eventually, like, I don't know, but I'm just showing you where some of this turbulence could be, like where we can expect a little bit of it. But for the most part, I think we're mostly done. I think the only reason that we're pausing right now is because it's been a very aggressive uptrend, but we've now had 3 blue candles in a row, and generally when we have a sign like that, it's a good thing for the market. Doesn't mean it is right now, but I like the look of this bullish hammer. What we had right here on the daily time frame were 2 candles which almost were bearish hammers. They were rejection candles. It shows us that the wicks went fairly high, but the candles in both cases closed a lot lower, so it shows us that the candle traded high and then it closed at lower level, which which begs the question, why did it drop, right? Was there some weakness? Now we've got the inverse of that, where we've got this bullish hammer, and the reason that this jumped out to me is that when we have, and I've said this before, it's a very important note in my opinion at least, is that I'm seeing this as at least a short to mid-term uptrend, if not a long-term uptrend, right? And so if we're in some form of an uptrend and we form a bullish sign, that's a big deal, right? Like that's like you have a kid that's like very, very gifted, just naturally super, super smart in school, and then he shows a certain like ability to perform really, really well in math, and you're like, fuck, this is great, like this is a really, really good sign, let's double down on that. That's how I feel the market responds to things like bullish hammers. Whereas this same kid shows that like, I don't know, he's just not very good, or she's just not very good at English, perhaps like these wicks showing like, okay, there's some slightly negative signs here. Doesn't matter if you're fucking great at math, right? And so like that's how I feel the analogies are just coming out constantly today. But that's how you feel the market is potentially responding to these things, is you've got a situation where the negative things are kind of almost being brushed off. This is not my think, this is not me thinking this is a fact, right? When the market is in an uptrend, it'll shake off negative news like it's nothing. This is written in books. I've got links to books in the description. You can check them out. It's not me saying this. Like, this is a known fact. Markets will generally shake off negative things pretty easily, like this, and it will rally at positive things. Perhaps like this. So, what I'm seeing here are some slightly bearish signs within a massive uptrend, or at least a fairly substantial uptrend, followed by an actually very bullish sign. So where is that going? I don't know, you tell me, but that makes me pretty excited for sure. So that's quite cool. I also, of course, want to take a look at Ethereum, my favorite cryptocurrency coin for the moment. Again, just look at how well it's outperforming Bitcoin. Bitcoin's up by 0.45%, Ethereum up by 0.9%. It's literally doubled Bitcoin's performance. Whereas Bitcoin has noticeably slowed down, Ethereum has also certainly slowed down, but not that much. It's still doing fairly well, continuing to push higher. Let me just calculate what profit I'm in right now. This yellow line is where I entered my Ethereum trade. If we look at it on the 1 hour time frame, it's actually extremely impressive how precise that entry level was. Again, this is the power of technical analysis. You can't look at me in the face and tell me TA doesn't work, because I was able to choose that entry, and that wasn't luck. That was not luck, and it's not luck if you look at the long term. Like, you can't just consistently be getting that lucky. Like, at what point is it that person is lucky versus you're an idiot? Like, at what point does it shift from there to there? You know what I mean? Like, and that's the thing that a lot of people get trapped in, is they just they can't do it, so they think nobody can. But no, if you have the right training, you can do it. Here I am, with this absolutely spectacular entry level, and like I said, I've leveraged that up with 8x leverage. So I'm just curious, because I haven't checked it today, but that is a 21% move to the upside, which is 168% profit. So pretty good. It's actually 170% profit, because it's 21.5. So that's even better. Each, like I said, I'm aiming for 200%. It's a big ego number. It means that what I have in the trade has tripled. So plus 200% means triple. So pretty impressive. Again, obviously, this is the kind of trade that I aim to make, in these markets, and this is not the last opportunity. This is the fucking first one of this season, the way I see it. There's going to be so many more, And you better believe I'm going to be aiming to do those same things. So again, just check it out, check the idea out with the link in the description if you are interested. Same picture holds for Ethereum as Bitcoin, though. It's actually, I think, now got some more real resistance compared to Bitcoin. I mean, I don't think Bitcoin has a particularly serious area of resistance, but I do certainly see Ethereum does, at least in some way, have a more significant area of resistance here. Just looking at these support hits, these resistance hits, and so on, I just feel like, yeah, it's got a little bit going on here. But it seems to be shaking it off fairly well. I think, you know, if we're able to rise above these prior swing highs for Ethereum and Bitcoin, that's it. I mean, it's just probably going to start flying again. Because again, the other thing you need to consider is that there's like just less people that want to take profits here. You know, like if you didn't sell during this down period right here, then you're probably not inclined to sell. You know, that's a fair statement to say. That's probably most of you watching this video right now. And so, you know, those are the kind of things that I like to take into account when the market reaches some kind of level like this. You know, where yeah, I mean, we could be looking at fuck me, I've lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, just my phone's blowing up right now, and I know it's not the right thing to do because I'm on video, but there's like an urgent meeting and it's been rescheduled. But yeah, prior swing high, if we manage to rise above that, I think we could we could start flying, because I've remembered now, because there's just not much supply in the market the way I'm seeing it. It's not really the way I'm seeing it. I mean, this is also a fact because the market's been rising up. There's just not that much supply compared to the demand, and so, you know, anything that just, you know, quickly, you know, scares people away from selling or urges, you know, makes people feel the fear of missing out to buy. You know, one of those things is you rise above the prior swing high, because now you've kind of cleared a psychological area of resistance. The Bitcoin chart for Ethereum is spectacular. You know, we've now seen a breakout, our first breakout in a very, very long time. The last breakout was, you could count this one, but that's cheating in my opinion. So the last breakout was here at the very, very end of November last year. You know, we're just breaking out right now. I mean, it's not significant yet, but you know, we did manage to break, not even 1% up, but, you know, I think that if this thing kind of reaches like 0.0737 BTC per token, that's where, you know, it could just start flying and just gain a ridiculous amount of strength against Bitcoin. So that's very, very exciting. Yeah, I like the look of this chart. I think it looks strong. I think it's an indication for what's about to come for other altcoins. You know, we haven't necessarily seen such impressive performance from other altcoins, in my opinion. You know, some of them certainly have done well. Coins like Solana, for example. Yeah, look at that, just starting to really pick up now. You know, most of these altcoins that are well known have performed better than Ethereum, but not by much. You know, most of them, you know, where Ethereum pulled a 40% profit, Solana, you know, previously had only pulled, say, a 43% profit. So you're not actually making much more money by being in these markets, or, I mean, up until now. Now Solana has pumped up quite nicely, you know, but previously you weren't. 1 second. You know, you weren't actually making such big gains compared to the risk you were taking on, right? Because the other thing you want to consider is that, you know, with Ethereum being number 2, but, you know, Solana being wherever it is in the top 10, I think, you know, you've got a situation where, you know, you're trading a much smaller coin and you're only getting marginally better results. So it's like, well, how much additional risk are you taking versus how much additional reward are you enjoying? And it just generally doesn't make sense. It doesn't weigh up. But right now we are starting to see this explosion, and I think it could get even crazier. Let's take a look at Luna. Yeah, Luna set a brand new all-time high. I did tell you guys I would be watching this, but I decided not to trade it, which I do believe was the right decision, for a lot of reasons, which I won't go into in this video, because that would make this way longer. Let's take a look at this. So it's from its high, it's already up by about 6%. That's actually pretty good. Yeah, it's a pretty nice move there. Very, very nice move. So yeah, just I think keep an eye on these. I think this could get very, very exciting, especially because it looks like the market's still kind of breathing in those summer vibes right now. So that's always quite exciting. But yeah, with that, guys, I do have to get going. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Very in-depth video focusing on a bunch of different stuff. But if you did find it useful, if you did appreciate it, then do me a favor and smash up the likes. Subscribe if you're new to this YouTube channel as well. Tick the bell, do all that good stuff. Jump into VIP. Find out what you're missing out on. At the very least, find out what the benefits and the prices are and so on. And if you want to trade on the very same exchange that I'm using, then it's all happening on Bybit. So check it out with a link in the description down below, where you can sign up using my link and get some free cash deposited into your account as a thank you. So if you like free money, then check out that link for Bybit. If you want to join VIP, learn how to trade, learn how I trade, it's great for all skill levels. Then yeah, you can reach out by following the first link in the description down below and the steps around that. Anyway, hope you have enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.